All right, Gabby, thank you very much. Well, it's a sobering reality. We are in the second surge here, and it's our towns and cities that are the state and federal government's eyes and ears where tests are being distributed, where you may seek medical care. Now, we talked with 3 mayors yesterday, Hartford's, Danbury's, and New Haven's, and we want to talk with 3 more mayors today. COVID not discriminating in these towns, of course, people across the state feeling the impacts of this pandemic. I want to bring in the mayors right now. We have Norwich Mayor Peter Nystrom. We have East Hartford Mayor Marcia Leclerc, and we have Bridgeport's Mayor Joe Ganim joining us through Zoom right now. Thank you all so much for doing this. I want to start with you, Mayor Ganim, because you are seeing a real spike in cases in the city. In fact, you had to close schools completely on Monday because of a staffing shortage, specifically that teachers there had a lot of exposure that were from social gatherings, it sounds like, in the city. So tell me, how are you tackling this problem?
Yeah, I don't know the source, but the results are exactly as you said, staffing and teachers. So it wasn't students, but it doesn't take a lot of imagination if one teacher or administrator in a school building gets it. Now you've got how many that need to at least be quarantined because of proximity. So that was one of the most recent incidents or challenges for the Bridgeport schools that have been really pushing to try and keep in-classroom learning as much, even though hybrid mostly, but as much as possible. So yeah, not an easy. The schools have been, look, I had this conversation with the superintendent of schools before the first day. It's going to continue to be a moving targets, 2 steps forward, maybe 2 steps back. And we're seeing that certainly all over in Bridgeport, all over Connecticut, and I think all over the country.
I want to go to Norwich Mayor Peter Nystrom next. Now, about a month ago, you decided to do a hybrid of phase 2 and 3. How did that work out? Are you glad you did that, and where are we now?
Well, we're like everyone else. There is an uptick. We were over 50 per 100,000 at one point. We put the word out. We asked our people to respond appropriately and protect themselves. We went down as low as 12. But there's been a little bit of a swing going the wrong way again. So I'm urging everyone in Norwich to continue to wear masks, continue to social distance, do what's right, protect your families. But some of this, I think, is actually being driven by the time of year. We know flu increases at this time as we close our doors, our windows. Not having that fresh air in our homes can actually help this virus become more virulent. And I'm afraid we're seeing some of that. It's a community-wide spread here. There is no one single area where people came together and didn't do what they should have done. It's a community spread.
Yeah, that's exactly what we heard from Danbury's Mayor Mark Boughton yesterday, was that it was hard to trace exactly where this is happening because it's just community spread. I want to go to the mayor of East Hartford right now, Marcia Leclerc. We saw long lines at Rentschler Field today in East Hartford. What are you seeing on the ground there? Is testing an issue? Tell me what you're seeing.
I know that, we've been sending in residents over to multiple testing sites that we've established with community partners here in the town of East Hartford, because we know that testing is an important, and we've seen lines as long as 4 hours long over at Rentschler Field, people waiting. There is a need. I know that it's not just in East Hartford where these lines are long, because that is a regional testing spot with community health centers. But also our local partners have set up throughout town. We've done overlaying mapping, so we're going into being very aggressive about our testing. We're actually setting up in private apartment complexes where we're seeing a large cluster of outbreaks. We're trying to do everything we can to contain it, and we're trying to encourage people to get tested as a way to be a wake-up call. Now, what we are seeing is that in our own municipality, several of our employees have tested positive. They're all doing well, thank goodness. But we are, we're putting the brakes on all of the access to town hall and public buildings. Once again, we're just tightening up, procedures where we had rolled back, just like the governor had, is starting to implement stronger mechanisms for making people do better judgment and stop and think.
Now, are all of you seeing long lines? Does that include Mayor Ganim and
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Matter of fact, we had if you don't mind me, Mayor, I went and got tested yesterday by appointment, but I looked at the line and felt bad. And I had an appointment as anybody can make one, so I didn't wait. But it was an hour, and I don't think that's the extreme time frame. And so we gathered management team here in the city of Bridgeport to try and figure out that's just not right. And if someone's waiting in line an hour or longer, they must feel they really have an issue, maybe symptoms or concerned about an event or a close proximity to someone. So they're waiting in line an hour or longer. And that's just not acceptable. And I know it's not just Bridgeport, it's other cities and towns. And we're figuring out a way to, resources is one, locations and personnel is another. But this is a challenge we've got to be able to overcome. It is a single only tool we have left that's under kind of a difficult situation. I think we're okay with PPE. I think we've been through the protocols of what to open and what to close, having gone through March, April, May, June, July, and August with everyone. We need to figure out how to make testing easier for everyone here in Bridgeport, and I think across Connecticut.
Yeah, no, so true. And especially because we knew this surge was coming, right? I appreciate you all for joining us. Norwich Mayor Peter Nystrom, East Hartford Mayor Marcia Leclerc, and Bridgeport Mayor Joe Ganim. Thank you.
Message out. What we're seeing now is even those that are testing positive have limited symptoms. So not only when they're testing positive, they really are not in any discomfort or very sick.
Oh, Caitlin, thank you.
And that to me is very concerning, because to me it's saying, oh, well, if I feel okay, I can continue on my day. And they actually become the spreader that could be doing more damage than if they stayed home and weren't feeling a little bit more under the weather. So my concern is that there's more positivity rates and more people testing positive, but they're feeling fine. So they're continuing on with their day, which is causing more spread.
And Mayor Nystrom, anything that you wanted to get to specifically for, Eastern Connecticut?
Well, Thanksgiving's a week away, and it's a time of celebration, but it needs to be a time of real public awareness, not let our guard down. In fact, I would ask people to raise their guard and do not bring people from other communities here. I know that sounds awful. It's a holiday, but protect them by letting them stay where they are and protect yourselves. I think we just have to make these tough decisions now.
Area of media and communication to our residents in a more proactive manner, using the school system and the children as a vehicle to communicate with their parents, and to not put such a big emphasis on shopping on Black Friday is going to be a significant concern for me, that there's going to be a significant uptick. And as Mayor Ganim said, the children don't seem to be necessarily the ones that are carrying the virus. It's the teachers that are being more impactful, and that will be where the town